Hello again. Time to give you guys an update on, gig working here in Belton, Temple, Central Texas. Sometimes I'm out of town, but that's the general area of Belton, Temple, Texas here. Heck of a weekend, ups and downs. I'll talk a little bit about the ups and the downs. I like to start with the positive. First of all, Super Bowl. I'm not a sports guy, but I did work the Super Bowl. Customers were pretty good. There was an incentive on Spark where if you could do any type of deliveries in Temple for Walmart, you got an extra, I think it was like $26. Got that done by 2:30 and kept on going. Most of the orders were, except maybe one or two, were $18 or above. Whether it was 1 delivery, 3 deliveries, shopping, which that's not bad. Like I said, I try to keep the wheels going, keep the momentum. Let's see, and it worked out pretty good. I think I made like 130, 140 in my pocket, but then unconfirmed tips, which I got today, was like an additional $80. So before I even woke up, I knew I was gonna make $80 today. So that's always a good pace to have. Let's see. Also, last night I did my late night. I don't know if I talked about that before. Late night is when I go out after my daughter is asleep. I get my butt out of the bed and I go out there and make $30 using DoorDash or Uber Eats. That was an adventure. Comes out good. Started out rough. Kind of how life goes. First I took a $5 order, and which places were they? I can't remember everything here, but I know it was a $5 order and I had to wait at the restaurant. Then I took a $6 order, had to wait at the restaurant. Took a $10 some change order. Let's just call it 11. I was waiting at the restaurant. So after about, I don't know, an hour, something like that. I was at $21. So I wasn't down the dumps about it. I wanted to go a little bit smoother, but can't be coughing roses all the time. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I knew I needed like another $8 to $9. So I was just thinking, just make $8 to $9. And then I will give myself permission to sleep. And then I got something called a unicorn. What I call a unicorn is something that is extremely rare. Very, you don't see unicorns too often. Well, not at all. But, a rare mythical creature. This rare mythical creature manifested itself as a Taco Cabana order for $36, going like 4 or 5 miles on Uber Eats. Now, I got that toward the end of my last delivery, which was $10 and some change on Uber Eats. Now, immediately after I dropped it off, I started heading over to Taco Cabana, but I was giving Taco Cabana a call. Anyone that's done this for a while knows on Uber Eats, every now and again, you'll see an order that's too good to be true. And a lot of times what it is that, I don't know what's really said, man, a driver will steal some food and the customer doesn't get it, and it goes back into the system over and over again. Then when someone like myself goes to try to pick up an order that's already been picked up, instead of calling support, which takes some time, it's just quicker for the driver to just cancel the order that they said they were going to take, and then it just ends up in limbo. And how Uber reacts to this sometimes is that in a moment of crisis, panic, they'll up the base pay a lot. Basically, they'll take a loss on I believe they'll take a loss on the order, but they're trying to retain the business, they're trying to retain the customer. So they'll take a loss on this one, but they'll make it up in the future with orders they'll get from this customer later on down the line. So with that said, I gave Taco Cabana a call. I was like, hey, this is Richard, you're an Uber Eats driver. I just want to see if you guys have a order for so and so. And he said, yes, it's been here a while, but yeah, we have the order. I was like, great, I'll be there in less than 10 minutes. I saw the GPS said 9 minutes, went over there as safe as I could, picked it up. and they said they've had it for a while. So I was like, ugh. But you know, little inside info: if the customer canceled it before I got it, then I would have got no money. But if I have the order and then they decided to cancel it, I would still get my full payout. So once I had it in my hand, I confirmed the order, I was already smiling on my end. But I'm also, I mean, this is a handed to me customer. So I go from Taco Cabana in Temple to, I don't remember the name of the hotel. It's on 6th Street off the access road on I-35 South. Not a great motel, but the guy's waiting outside. So I pull up, it's kind of dark, you know, open the door, and I said, well, here's your food. The restaurant told me you've been waiting a while, but I apologize. I got to it as fast as I could. And the guy was completely cool, but he knew the story. I didn't know the story behind this order. And the story goes is that the last Uber Eats driver that came to pick it up was on a bicycle. Okay? We're talking exit, 299 all the way to 294B. I had to hold back the laughter. I'm like, well, if that guy delivered it, two things would have happened. Your food would have been extra cold, and that guy would have went to sleep pretty good that night, because that's a long bicycle ride with a bunch of food. But he was totally cool. I got my play out immediately. That was cool. And since I was out in Belton, I wanted to get back to Temple. But I was about to turn off the apps. I get another like 11 and some change order going back, not necessarily to my house, but it was going back to Temple, which I was all over that. It was pickup was on 31st Street. McDonald's, not where I live, but the drop off is closer to my house. Why that was good for me is because I was going to already drive from Belton to Temple anyways to go home, and those are dead miles. Those are miles I'm not getting paid for. So it was in my best interest, in my mind, to take that order, get me closer to the house, and then there's less dead miles from the customer's house to my house. So I took that. So last night was a good night. I was out 2 hours and some change. We're talking 36, 46, 5, 6, that's 11, plus another 11 is 22, 32, 42, 52, 58, 68, almost $70 in a couple of hours. I'm not going to complain. I'll cry my way to the bank on that one. So not all nights are like that. I mean, I've done late nights where, I was out here 2 hours. I used to set myself a standard 11:30 to 1:30. At 1:30, got to go home. And I've had nights. It's been a long time since I had nights like this, but I've had nights where I only made like $14. That's frustrating. Waiting at restaurants, waiting on orders, shenanigans with the restaurant, shenanigans with a customer, that type of deal. But it was a good night. It was a good night. Those are the positives. Let's see. I do believe I mentioned my daughter having the birthday party that went off without a hitch. Good party. Cake. They had cake. They had pizzas, hot dogs, sliders. She made her first party, which was for the family, just family and friends. She made off like a bandit. Made a bunch of stuff. Had a good time. The bad part, which we didn't inform her until last night, is that her guinea pig s'mores died. I woke up at 4 in the morning. I went to check on the guinea pigs, and s'mores, the one that was brown and white, she had two. That one was my favorite. We found her dead. She was struggling for a while, had a hard time breathing. My wife believed, and I agree, that I think she was the older one. She was a little bit bigger. She last couple of weeks she was slowing down, didn't want to eat as much, really didn't want to get picked up. And if I know anything about animals and people, actually, when they notice when it's their time. And I think she knew it was coming, and that's when they get kind of snappy. They want to be left alone. But yeah, s'mores passed. I had to wake up my wife, let her know. A lot of crying. She cleaned her up. She wrapped her up. We put her in a box. I put her in with another plastic bag around it, put it off to the side. But we both decided, and I thought it was a good decision, that we weren't going to tell our daughter about it until after the party. we didn't want to mess up her 7-year-old birthday party. And she'll have the one for her friends next week, like classmates and stuff. So she had a good time yesterday. We didn't say anything until the end of the night. My wife came in while I was playing with her, and I felt bad because I knew I was holding something back from her. I try to keep it pretty 100 with my daughter, but I hate holding that in. And then, my wife came in while we were playing. She goes, "I think it's time." So, we sat her down, and if you know anything about my daughter, man, she's a ray of sunshine, man. She's always happy, clowning and stuff. And we told her we had to sit down, wanted to talk to her, and she was a little worried. She goes, "Is there something wrong?" Because she could felt our energy was off. And, we let her know that Shmora's died, and, her smile went away, her eyes got big. She ran to the cage, and when she looked in the cage, didn't see Shmora, she turned around. And I think she was trying to hold back the tears, but she started crying. I try to reinforce that this is a good time to cry. It's all right to cry. There's nothing wrong with crying at all. But, she tries to be a tough girl. She's a daddy's girl, and she's trying to be, I can tell she's trying to be tough. But, she cried. She asked some questions, what, and we let her see her one last time. I made sure everything was okay. Open up the box. She saw her. She asked some questions like, "How come her eyes aren't closed?" And if you know anything, guinea pigs aren't really closed. Their eyes don't really close too much. But yeah, she said her goodbyes. We're gonna actually go all out. We're gonna pay to have her cremated. Which I know some people will say that's crazy. It's just a guinea pig. Set her on fire, put her in the trash. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do it right. We're going to get her cremated. Get the ashes, put it into a container, put a picture up so she can remember. So that's pretty much how my weekend went. I hate to end it like this, but it's getting close to my wife's appointment. She's already texting saying, let me know when you're here, and I'm here. So I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for listening. I know I talked a lot about my personal stuff, but I'm a human being. This vlog is more for my mental health than it is for anything else. So thanks for listening. Allow me to be human with y'all, and I'll talk to you later.